We are live. Hi everyone, welcome in today's live. If your day feels like a fire drill, this live is for you because you are not alone. I'm Stefania Arca, and I help CEOs and founders or business owners redesign how they lead, so the business doesn't burn them out. And here is the truth. Most leaders hate to admit it, but let's be honest here. You're not too busy. Many times you're simply misaligned. And today we are going to fix that with one matrix that changed how I run my business and my personal life as well, and how I help other of you in being successful in their project management. So as always, I'm gonna have my my slide with me, and let's move directly to the vision part. So today we're going to talk about one matrix that is called Eisenhower Matrix, and it's gonna help us for understanding how to prioritize the task or the activities that we have in our calendar, and actually also we're gonna learn how to prioritize them well in a better way to boost our productivity. I feel like this topic is really important today, where I can hear so many founders complaining that their team is not actually as productive as it was in the pre-COVID era. So let's start talking about where this idea is coming from. This idea is coming from Eisenhower, which is, for whoever doesn't know him, it was a 5-star general in the US Army. It was like a supreme commander of the Allied forces in the World War II. And later on, he just started also to be a politician, and he became the 34th president of the United States. Eisenhower was very well known for his ability to make a clear and effective decision under pressure. And through both the war and his political life, he had to manage countless priorities with urgent demands. Not the funniest, the more important lessons that we learn by him was that he was credited with one sentence, and this sentence says, "What is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important." Years later, this concept was really formalized with the matrix that we learn today. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was first of all explained as the matrix that we are going to see in the next slide in the book The 7 Habits of High Effective People that was published at the end of last century. So let's say that first of all, we have two important concepts here. We have the urgent concept and the important concept as well. The good sounds like the same, but especially nowadays, we know that they are not the same at all. So urgent is something that is time sensitive, can't be pushed back, and therefore needs immediate attention. Example that we can find in our agendas that could be urgent are like deadline, crisis, or like client escalations. At the same time, many activities are important, and with important, we can like attribute this adjective to long-term goals, strategies, and growth. So whatever is going to be like strategic planning, relationship to build, and learning, or like even preventing like risk that might go into the urgent group, everything of that is just being called important because it helps us in moving forward. So here we have our metrics. So the Eisenhower Matrix looks like something like this. We have two axes where in one there is like the urgent dimension, and then the other one we're going to measure like how important is an activity, and then we have a 4-quadrant for like manage our situation. I mean, it doesn't mean I have seen so many of these metrics, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're always gonna have like the important on the way axis and the urgent in the x-axis. You can have like I have seen them in multiple ways, like mixing up, and at the same time, like maybe important is gonna be in the bottom, and not important is gonna be on the top, versus. But at the end of the day, like let's see here the principle, and then you can arrange it in the best way for you. In my case, because I am an engineer as well, and I came from a lot of math, for me, this is the easiest way based on my mind, because, you know, like I keep thinking about geometry and origin and axis, X and Y. So like for me, the cross point of these two axes are like 0, and the more the arrow is moving far away from the origin point, the more the number is supposed to increase. So I have not important and not urgent close to the cross point, and then important and urgent like in the farthest point from the orange. As well, like the name might have changed because I mean, this is a new concept coming from the president's sentence, but I mean, there is no fixed term, so you can see named also as urgent and important metrics, or like time management metrics only, like as well like the 4Ds metrics, because as you can see here, I have do, decide, delegate, and delete, or as well like the Eisenhower box. So let's see every single quadrant, and let's see how we can actually use it for our time management. So in the first one, we have, I'm gonna take out the banner because it's okay, here we are. The first quadrant, the most important one is going to be when an activity is urgent and at the same time it's also important. These are activities that you have to do. You do them as soon as possible. They can't be pushed back. You you can't delegate them to anyone else. So you are the person in charge of them. And I mean, it's also something that you should, I mean, it's an activity that it's very dangerous because they just generate stress, emotions. They can be unsustainable in the long term because, like, if you are always under pressure, I mean, our bodies needs also some rest and some chill out moments for being effective. So due to this, we can be in an unproductive situation, and we can easily falling apart ourselves, our teams, and our project and business at the same time. So, I mean, nowadays I can see so many people coming back to me and saying, like, I am receiving every morning email saying, like, this is urgent, you need to do it like right now in this exactly moment. And this is true. I mean, this type of conversation are raising day after day, and this is getting one of the reasons why your team is not productive as it was before, because you are like missing a line, you are messing up your calendar, and you feel like as a founder that everything feels urgent. It could be maybe if you hadn't been good in negotiating at the beginning your project goals with your client expectations. So yeah, it could happen. And in that case, we have the client management services ready for you. But you need to understand that if you're spending the majority of the time as the tasks are urgent and important, you have to revise your priorities, your dealings, and probably even the quantity of tasks that you can actually fit inside your week or your month, whatever is going to be the slot time that you use for managing your business. So here in the to-do, in the do quadrant, you need to do, you can include like crises and emergencies because they can always happen, but you can't be in crisis or in emergency every day. And all of those tasks that for one reason or the other, they require an immediate attention from you. So I have put in orange some activities that might fit this quadrant. So like pending deadlines, I have put like the risk that actually the risk became reality, and I need to deal with that as soon as possible. Changes as well, like accidents or injuries, so something unexpected happen, and you need to take actions on these activities that have an impact on your project. And then as well, like customer or team management. I mean, this is something that is borderline because sometimes based on the escalation, maybe it's something if your client is escalating out of the blue, like you just need to take care of it as soon as possible. But based on the things that they are complaining, maybe it's something that it can be rescheduled, and so might fit better another quadrant. Now let's move to the second quadrant, that it's something is important but is not urgent. So in this case, we have like tasks that needs to fill the majority of your time. So like 80% of your time has to be spent inside quadrant. If you're good here in managing properly these tasks that are important but are not urgent, you can save time also from the first quadrant, the do ones, so tasks that are urgent and important at the same time. So here we have everything that is needed for long-term goals. Only you can do them. So you are the only person in charge of these activities. They can be like easily rescheduled. So like in the do quadrant, we were saying like you need to act like right now. In this case, maybe you can reschedule a task for tomorrow, and it's not gonna be a big deal in your outcome. The impact that has a reschedule on your activity from today to tomorrow is not gonna really too much affecting you. I can see I have one comment, and we're gonna leave all comments for the end. Hello everyone. Hello. I can see hello, and then there is a comment, and I'm gonna reply to this comment later at the end of the live. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose the track here. So we were talking about this side, and in this case, I wrote like your deep work. So you know that the deep work means like being focused, truly focused on something, and this is where you just need to spend the majority of your energies. You need to invest here. So I had just put examples that are like strategic planning, professional development, and personal development as well, because we know that our business are the founders' mirrors. And I also care, because to be honest, if you do not take care about yourself, and so for instance, like you get sick, you are just ended up in the first quadrant as do, because you have an emergency. You are sick today, you can't be productive, you just need to take care of yourself. So you have then a situation that is perfectly fitting the urgent and important quadrant. So yeah, I mean, I have put a little note at the end of our column just for reminding you that keep in mind that especially here, but it's true in all the quadrant, but especially here, since it's the majority of your time, and it's kind of the core principle of your time management for your week, your month, your year, your long-term goals. Here, I mean, you need to revise the priorities for each activities constantly. So it can happen that one activity that was high priorities tomorrow doesn't mean that's going to be high priority even today. See like evolutions, see how times change. So it's important to see these, like to refresh these priorities inside task, like with a sort of frequency. How many times? I mean, what is the frequency? It depends on you. It depends on the activities. It depends on the business. It depends on the client, for instance. So this is something that we can see done in a session. But just keep in mind that if you want to be successful in your time management, you need to revise how important is an activities for you in that specific moment. Then let's move to the third quadrant. There's going to be like delegate. The third quadrant is something that is urgent, but is not important. It means that maybe, so it's an activity that needs to be done, but not by you. So someone else can step in. Usually it's low priority, so you are okay in delegating these activities to someone else, because I mean, you need to, you know, when you delegate, you need to train them, you need to trust them. And it's a process that is not going to happen in one night stand. So usually you want to delegate some activities at the beginning that are going to be low priorities. And then when the person is going to like look and sound more like you can just delegate more and more medium activities and high priorities activities to this person. But yeah, I mean, here you just need to learn this art. And it's something that I really recommend, because especially if you have a team and you are not a solo entrepreneur, just keep in mind that, yeah, I mean, you have teams because you can't just deal everything by yourself. No one wants to pay more if it's not needed, right? So, I mean, I'm just gonna say, for your own safety, learn the art of letting go. And so what kind of activities can be delegated? I have just put like some content creations. I didn't want to put all of them because, for instance, I want to be here the face for this live as a founder in like city strategy, and this is a type of content, creating this live. But at the same time, it's like if I needed to cutting off this video for creating like shirts and blog posting, the ideas that I have inside this live, and use them for marketing them marketing my brand out. I can simply delegate that activities to someone else that is an expert like in videos making, like. So some type of content creation you can definitely delegate to someone else. Then I just put like some type of email or notification management can be like easily delegated to someone else. Data entry or analysis, or you can just ask someone else to do the analysis and just read at the end of the day like a report. Or as well, like, do you actually need to be present in every single meeting? Because the meetings are gonna be like the killers in this new era post-COVID. There are meetings for every reason. Many of them are not needed. I can hear more and more frequently people, founders and team members as well, complaining about the number of meetings that people schedule for every single reason. So do you actually need to be present to all those meetings? Probably not. Probably you can simply delegate to someone else, be present, and just ask for a quick report. Doesn't mean that the report needs to be a written formal one. But yeah, what happened in the meeting, there is something important that I need to know. I mean, what kind of decision for this issue. I mean, you don't need, for instance, to know all the reason why the outcome is A instead of B. You just need to know that the outcome is A, and this is gonna save time in your agenda, and you're gonna have more time for other activities that actually are needed for your role. Let's move forward. I just put also, remember that delegating doesn't mean like managing. I know that many people like messing up here. They just think that when they are delegating, actually they need to manage the person. But if you train them properly, you just don't need to manage them. You just need like to have collaborators instead of members. Then we move to the last point that is gonna be like activities that as much as possible you need to get rid of them. These quadrants go like delegate. So we have activities that represent a time waster. They're going to make a distraction for our focus on the deep work. They do not have a real value. They don't bring any real value to our days, our mental health. They can be also unproductive, and maybe they're also going to bring you down because, sometimes we do activities like scrolling social media because we feel so down. But at the same time, when we're going to finish that activities, we're feeling energized. Pay attention, because some of these activities can actually work against you. And definitely the priority is really low if there is no priority at all. So the idea here is that we need to put inside this quadrant all those activities that, create less concern and needs to be reduced, minimized as much as possible. And if it's possible, we just need to delete. I like to see these activities like I treat them as it was a risk management. So we need to, how something happened here. Okay, here I am. So risk management works with this basic concept. You need, first of all, to identify every risk. And then after you have identified the risk, you're just going to put some kind of, based on the description, you're just going to decide how many possibilities there are that this risk can actually happen. And at the same time, you need also to see can this risk be minimized? Because I know that we all want to see risk deleted from our table, but in reality, if it was so easy to delete the risk, there will not be any issue at all. And this is not what is happening, to be honest. So, we need to reduce, minimize the risk, and possible understand if we can delete it. And for these type of activities, we need to do exactly the same. So first of all, we need to identify them. So knowing that activities is like low risk, low priority or no priority, and see, first of all, how can we minimize? And so we're going to reduce the impact on the other quadrant that actually matters more. And if it's possible, we are going to delete them. So, for instance, I have put in as type of these activities, I was saying like social media. It's okay. It depends on how you're going to use them. Because if you use them for refreshing your mind, it's okay. If you abuse them, and they're going to take a lot of time inside your week, then it's definitely an activities that you need to minimize to the minimum, because it's not going to bring you anywhere. But if it's something for refreshing your mind, that's more than welcome, because it's going to be something that we can include in the self-care. So in the quadrant number 2 that we were discussing earlier. So I have put also stop stalking your competitors and stop compare yourself to other business owners, because these can be activities at the same time that can bring you down, and as well do you really need to reply all emails? Sometimes like it's not needed. Sometimes like you can just say, okay, I'm gonna quickly share this matter in another, like in the meeting that we have tomorrow, something like that. So let's move forward. So this is just like the final slide, how it should look your Eisenhower matrix. And then these are some questions that could help you in creating these metrics. So one is, what is the percentage of time I'm spending in each quadrant? As I said, like the number 2 should be like 80% of your time. So you should have like this comparison, like 80% in the quadrant number 2. I would say like 10, 12% in the quadrant number 1, so urgent and important. And then like 1%, almost 0 in the number 4, and the rest like number 3, so like delegating, where you just need to say, do this on my behalf, please. And then I just want to do a quick exercise for you. I mean, I'm just going to go quite quickly here. We're not going to see every single activities because this slide is going to be long. But if you want this slide for preparing on your own time, feel free to DM me and ask for this live. I don't have any problem about that. Sometimes these slides are going to be loaded as well on our International Exit Strategy blog. And therefore, also there, you have the image, you're going to have the list of activities, and you can actually like see the exercise that I am proposing here. So when the exercise this one, when you're going to have a to-do list and like in this case, and you feel like you are overwhelmed, what I suggest you is just assign a number to each activities. The numbers are going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 based on the quadrant that we have seen earlier, and see visually speaking where each of these activities goes based on the priorities, etc. In this way, you're going to move from this one to something like this, where actually this could sound more manageable. Like, okay, once I'm gonna see that I have like 3 activities that I can delegate and I have other 3 that I can delete, it means that I have only 6 activities to take care and not like 12 activities to take care as I was looking in the previous slide here. So you see also in your mental state how this is working well for you. And as a last part of this, I just want to tell you pro and cons of using these time management metrics. Because of course, I mean, going to be benefits, but there's going to be also some disbenefits. So let's start first of all with all the pro in using the time management metrics. So first of all, you're going to have clarity in decision making because you know exactly what is urgent or what is truly important, and you're going to have like a better clarity in your mind where you need to spend your time on and your energies on. It's going to reduce overwhelms as well because, as I said, like it's going to help you in deleting some activities, so your to-do list is going to be shorter, and at the same time, it's like delegating. It's going to support delegation as well, as we were saying earlier, and encourage a long-term focus because if you remember well, in the quadrant number 2, we were just saying that over here is the time where you're gonna commit to your long-term goals, and your deep work is focused on the quadrant number 2, which is for planning, growth, and relationships. If you're good in planning, growth, and relationships, you're gonna have less activities in the quadrant number 1 to deal with, or they're gonna be like minimized in terms of the energies and times that are actually required. If you're good in number 2, number 1 is gonna be really, really minimum. It's gonna improve productivities because, of course, if you manage it well, if you distress like your calendar, I mean, you can move forward, you see progress, it's gonna be a win that you can celebrate, and it's gonna boost yourself. And at the same time, it's gonna be like adaptable because, I mean, it can change daily, weekly, or for long-term planning. And at the same time, like, I mean, whatever is gonna work for Stefania doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you. And in this way, you know, it's something that can fit you, and this is the best you can ask every time. I know that you are creating a business that is fitting your values and your beliefs. On the other side, on the other hand, we can say that there's going to be also some down effect here. So first of all, I mean, who is saying actually what is urgent or what is important? It's based on the subject, and this is really complicated sometimes if you need to collaborate with something else that has a different idea from you. So many times you can end up easily in a situation where you feel like, okay, this task is important but not urgent, and the other person thinks like it's important and urgent as well. So time to categorize, I mean, it's something that needs to be organized and planned. So you just need some time before having these metrics actually in place. And this is other times that needs to be put inside your weekly calendar. There is a risk of oversimplification because, you know, I mean, complex tasks might not fit in, so you can just maybe simplify them too easily. Don't solve execution because it's just a metrics that is going to tell you what to focus on, but not how to focus on. And, you know, I mean, we have already talked in another live about time management. And one example that we were saying is just when you move from the to-do list to the time slot in your agenda, you actually realize that, okay, for instance, I need to be live Wednesday at 1 for like my audience. But I mean, if you see it as a to-do list being live, you are not actually thinking about, okay, I need to prepare the slide as well, and at that time where it's gonna fit in my calendar. So when you're gonna move from the to-do list to the slot, the time slot in your calendar, actually you realize that there are also other times needed for achieving one single task. So this could be the same because as we were seeing, I mean, we have the quadrant and the to-do list, and this can mean like, I mean, you are losing the part of how to get it done. Then there is also a potential of excuses to avoid it. So people might think that they can move easily task to quadrant 4. This will be amazing. This will be like an utopia, but actually, you know, you can't just. There are some tasks that can't be moved in quadrant number 4, and unfortunately, I have seen people moving them, so deleting them from the calendar, and this has a bigger impact later on. And then last one, not every task can fit in a single box. So sometimes it can be complicated in understanding, okay, this is urgent or not. Yes, it's important, but I don't know, like the first half of this task is urgent and the second part is not urgent. So where should I put it? Like quadrant number 1 or quadrant number 2? This could like create some confusion sometimes, and it could be like a down point to have a look at as well. And so this is everything for this live. I'm gonna quickly have a look at comments. I like the Eisenhower Matrix when doing a realistic check. Sometimes what I sense in my mind, in the end, is not important on the paper. Yes, you are correct. I mean, sometimes, and this is why I was mentioning as a benefit that it's gonna help in creating clarity. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I agree with you 100%. I had to go now, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry, this live was very long. So, I mean, I'm just gonna run quickly to the end. I mean, in exit strategy, we always say that we don't just build processes, but we build protections. We speak fluently client, team, and management languages. So feel free, if you have any miscommunication with them, to like book a call, and we're gonna see how we can help you. And we says that we deliver project drama-free because we want to avoid all frictions that usually are part of your daily commitment. And you can find us also online. Our website is going to be www.intentionalexitstrategy.com. And yes, I mean, have a look if something can fit your needs. If you need help with our services, feel free to book a discovery call, and let's talk more. Thank you so much, everyone, for having been here in this very long live. I hope the Eisenhower Matrix is going to help you out in your time management. And with that, you're going to have like improvement also in operational, in your personal life, and so on. So thank you so much. See you tomorrow with another live that is going to be AI in project management. I hope also that one is going to be a hot topic for you. So I hope to see you tomorrow as well. Thank you. Have a lovely day, and bye.